I know this all started happening about Wednesday. Could have done a video for it for Thursday. I had other things in mind. That being said, this is for Friday. Black Panther Wakanda Forever star Letitia Wright slams The Hollywood Reporter for equating her vaccine skepticism to some of Hollywood's most notorious child abusers child ex abuse scandals. Yeah, Hollywood Reporter went there simply because she asked questions. Am I going to get into those questions? Not really. I'm still new, and those questions, as far as I know, are still not YouTube friendly. Let's be very clear. But if you know the story, she was just skeptical. She went down a little rabbit hole that I'm not really fond of, but she went some places that even I wouldn't go. But why don't we get into this? Roman Polanski, Woody Allen, Letitia Wright. Black Panther Wakanda Forever star Letitia Wright is not happy with entertainment media heavyweight The Hollywood Reporter after the outlet decided to attack the actress by comparing her to some of the most notorious child abusers in Hollywood due to her alleged anti-vaccination stance. This article does, from Bounding on Comics, great work by the way, guys. This article does go into her stance and where she goes from. Again, I'm not getting into it. They're mad. She came out in 2020, made some accusations and claims that she was not comfortable about. She's welcome to her own opinion. And everybody dragged her through the mud, including some of her co-stars dragged her through the mud. Because you can't, as much as they like to say we like strong, independent black voices, black female voices, because they love identity politics, they don't want this one to have strong, independent, and black voice. Because it's going against their narrative. As long as you're in the narrative, you're fine. If you're outside the narrative, you're an awful human being. That's why they had what was his name? Rhodey, War Machine. His name will come back to me. He came out and dragged Letitia Wright through the mud, calling her all sorts of hateful things. You're welcome to have your own opinion. I can disagree with you, but what happened to her was BS. She clicked all the check marks they acquire, had one opinion they didn't like, and they dragged her along. Of course, they're bringing this all up now because Black Panther Wakanda Forever is out, and that's still in the zeitgeist and everything, but this is just to attack Letitia. Nothing else. On November 21st, The Hollywood Reporter published a piece entitled How Personal Baggage Will Impact Oscar Chances that put Wright, Babylon lead Brad Pitt, and I can never say this right. Impaction star Will Smith front and center in a story about how each actor's personal controversies stand to hurt their respective Oscar odds. Now, what's the controversy with Will Smith? Well, Will Smith's controversy is keep my wife's name out your mouth, and slapping Chris Rock. As our lovely mentioned here, while Smith has was mentioned due to his slapping of Chris Rock at the Academy Award ceremony because he's a little wimp and is just a tool, is in a loveless relationship and a loveless marriage. Brad Pitt, for accusations of physical abuse recently leveled against him by his ex-wife Angelina Jolie. Again, these are accusations and a very messy divorce aimed at Brad Pitt. Are they accurate? We don't know. I believe there is a lawsuit going on. So that's trying to take down Pitt and with all the Me Too stuff, but we go back to our Letitia Wright. The Hollywood Reporter singled out Wright simply for questioning the merits of the jab back in December 2020. She's apologized for this since then. Do I think she should have apologized? No, I think she should stand firm. But they're still dragging her through this because she disagreed on one thing. However, rather than keep the focus on their piece on the named actors, the Hollywood Reporter went a step further, and in seeking to equate their controversies to the crimes of such child abusers as fugitive child abuser Roman Polanski, who in 1978 pleaded guilty to the statutory child abuse of a 13-year-old, but fled from the United States to France while awaiting sentencing. Yeah, they equated her to Roman Polanski. They then equated her to Woody Allen. And they go into Woody Allen's thing, adopted a daughter who he then married and abused another child. Obviously, but then they try to mitigate all this. Obviously, not all accusations are equally serious or solid. Why did they do that? Why did they? That's a reporter trick, though. You see, you're gonna levy all these accusations and say, well, these are comparable, and then towards the very end say, well, they're not that comparable, but they're comparable. They can be. No, they're not. She had an opinion you didn't like. That's basically it. Every other box she checked, but the moment she had thought for herself, you had to drag her through it. That's how these people also stayed in their bubbles and stay in line. That's how Hollywood actors are forced to stay in line, because if they step out of line once, you get treated like Gina Carano. You get treated like Letitia Wright here is. You get treated like all sorts of other people because you stepped out of line once. You're now massive enemy, very dangerous, and we need to put you back in line. The outlet attempted to offer as a caveat, but is history a guide for what may happen for Smith, Pitt, and Wright? Definitely not. Letitia Wright, she's not a great actor. I have no ill will or no love for her. She's Letitia Wright. But she's allowed to have her opinions. She's allowed to take stances on things. Do I think her opinion is very valid? I don't really care. I think you're allowed to have your opinion. That's about it. Infuriated by the notion of being compared to the one confirmed and one alleged child abusers, Wright took to Instagram to slam the outlet for their dishonest reporting. I had to unblock the Hollywood Reporter just to post this, said the MCU's new Black Panther in a November 21st posted Instagram. Let's be real. They forgot to add that part. Oh, excuse me. Scott Feinberg and all at this publication, you are incredibly disrespectful. How dare you mention my name alongside men who have been accused of sexual abuse and misconduct? This is vile behavior, she continued her blasting of the outlet. At this point, a personal vendetta towards me. I've done nothing wrong but respectfully refuse to do interviews with this publication. Stop your nonsense. And that's another aspect of this. They want to do reports on her. They want to do exposés on her. They want to dig into her and continue slamming her as an anti-vaxxer, as an anti-this, as an anti-that, because she had one opinion that didn't line up with their narrative. Just one opinion. And they hate her for that. I apologized 2 years ago. I don't think you needed to apologize for anything. You are allowed to have your opinions. And proceeded to remain silent on the topics. She then declared, you lied and said I continued talking about it with my cast and crew on my set. This was not true. Ask my producer and director. The film was successful. Yeah, she's getting into Black Panther territories, and yes, the film is by all amounts box office successful, not Disney successful. Those are two different standards. Disney successful is $1 billion, while box office standards are just make money. It's gonna make money. It's not gonna make $1 billion though. So Drawing her initial post to a close, the actress ultimately asserted, "Your agenda towards me is now even more clear." I think she should sue. I really do. I'm starting to think she should sue. Sue for defamation. Granted, this last one, she probably can't sue for defamation, actually. But this last post, equating her to awful things, I don't think she can sue on, but that is horrible. You basically levied her to equal them, but then try to mitigate that. That is awful, just because she had an opinion you didn't agree with. "I won't remain silent," she affirmed. "Stop your disgusting behavior." I do think she should have sued during the accusations. I don't think she can now. She might, but if she can, go ahead and sue. I don't think she can as of now, though. I think time's gone too far. Returning to the topic short time later, Wright turned her sights on the article's author, Scott Feinberg, and accused him of fanning the flames of the media's crusade against her character. Yeah, because they want this frame. They want to berate her and make sure she never steps out of line again. "Scott Feinberg, this personal agenda with your friends at Hollywood Reporter is disgusting," she said. "I've remained silent as the world told me to off myself 2 years ago for I posted, I think for a post and apologized for something she posted and apologized for." That is disgusting. "I've remained silent to kill off myself for 2 years ago for a video." So they forgot the video. "For a video I posted and apologized for. I kept my head down and focused on my craft. And now I'm at the other side of it. Here you are a so-called journalist we are meant to trust. Putting my name into this nasty article for what?" asked Wright. "You lack substance. You clearly have nothing to report. The movie is beautiful, impactful, and breaking box office. It's doing decent. And it's not beautiful and impactful. I worked my ass off with my cast and crew to dedicate it to my brother. How dare you?" Yeah. Again, they're not doing this because of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, though. Well, they are and they aren't. They aren't targeting Black Panther. They're targeting you, Letitia. They don't care about Black Panther as a movie. They like Black Panther as a movie. They're doing this while Black Panther is going on to try to gym up hype, try to use the zeitgeist that's going on right now, and utilize that to go after you and to try to make sure you stay in line. That's all this is. That's why they're bringing these back up. That's why they're equating you to these people. They want you to make sure that you stay in line, don't have opinions, don't have your own opinions, and do as you're told. You stepped out once and now here's your punishment. Over and over and over again. You're allowed to have opinions. You're allowed to disagree with opinions. That is perfectly fine. I have no problem with what Letitia did. And I'm not going to go into it right on this video, even though Bounding does a wonderful job. I just don't know what I can say and can't say, to be perfectly honest. "Did my performance rattle you that much?" she questioned of her critic. It was that excellent? It was that excellent, huh? I'm still here, still making impact, still creating projects that touch people's hearts, and it's not going to stop. I don't think you should stop, but yeah, you kind of have to do this part, though. You kind of have to point out how good of an actor you are, even though I think you're okay at best. In conclusion to her thoughts, Wright signed off by encouraging Feinberg to get a life, like for real. And yeah, because Feinberg's obsessed at this point. Feinberg's continuing this push. And again, it's only because she had an opinion he disagreed with. Had an opinion of her own, was allowed to be a strong, independent black woman for one moment, and then was subsequently shut down and called awful, awful things. But let me get your guys' thoughts in the comments below on this. Do you agree with me? Was this whole thing here just insane? And I honestly think Letitia did the right thing in calling them out. Don't stand out. Don't bend to your accusations. Stand up to them. Stand up for what you did was true. And let me guys have your thoughts down in the comments below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, share it out with all your friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.